everybody, and welcome to the Thrive After Divorce show, where we bring you the experts to teach you not just to survive, but thrive. And today we have all the way from the United Kingdom, Elle Palmer. Welcome, Elle.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And you did mention that people call you Elle, and since we're all friends here, we'll go with Elle.
Yeah.
But more than that, you are the conscientious queen, consciousness queen.
Consciousness queen. I am.
Consciousness queen. It's a tongue twister, but you remember it.
Yeah, and many people do struggle with it, and I actually thought, should I change this? But because it came to me in a meditation, I know that's how I'm supposed to introduce myself. So we've got to stick with it.
I think so, and it gets people to repeat it a few times and lock it in. And today we are going to talk about the beauty in the breakdown.
Yeah.
And I so agree with that, but it's hard to maybe believe or find when you're in that breakdown moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So something must have brought you from that to the Queen of Consciousness. So tell us about your journey.
Okay, so I'm a single mom of 5 children. I've just recently turned 40. Absolutely loving being 40. I'm really full of like a rebirth energy at the moment. But I've been on what you'd call a spiritual journey for around 5 years now. And 5 years ago, I would say I absolutely hit rock bottom. I had just left my alcoholic husband 10 weeks after our wedding day. I was 4 months pregnant, and I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the drinking, the abuse. I felt like my entire life was a complete mess. And prior to that, I'd lost my mum and 13-year-old sister in a car accident, and I'd never really done any sort of healing or anything from that, because as the eldest child of 7, I just jumped straight into autopilot, taking care of all my younger siblings. And I was this woman that was always there for everybody, taking care of everyone and never, ever taking care of myself. I didn't even know self-love was a thing. I didn't even know that back then. So by the time I was 35, which was 5 years ago, I was completely empty, and I had nothing left to give to anyone, not to my children, to anyone. And I wanted my life to end. And I remember just laying on the floor in my bedroom, in that place of total breakdown, in the fetal position, just in so much pain. Like, I remember thinking that my heart was broken so much, like I could feel this physical pain, and I just wanted it to end. And I was just, I just wanted the ground to open up and just take me then. And I would have been happy with that, and that was the first time I would say that I ever heard, spirit or God or whatever speak to me and say, it's your time to be happy now. And I remember like sitting up and thinking, happy? I don't even know what happiness feels like. And I remember thinking, have I ever been happy in my life? And I grabbed a piece of paper and I wrote at the top of the page, happiness in really big letters. And then I wrote underneath, what does that mean for me? And it was such a sad moment, because I realized like I didn't even know what it meant to be happy. But I was like, I'm going to find out. I don't know. I'm sat on the floor and I'm pregnant and I'm crying. And I was just like, my kids were downstairs, and I was just like, I don't know what it feels like to be happy, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to try and find out. And that kind of led me into this like rabbit hole of self-development. And that's when I found self-love. And here I am, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I love speaking about this. I love helping other women, climb out of the black hole that was, that they think is their life. I absolutely love doing that now, because I am living proof that I've been there where it's hopelessness, it's meaningless, that there's no way out. My life is over. And now I'm like, on the other side.
Wow. And what I hear, those are major traumas. That's major grief. And then when you're the eldest of 7, so you're just in that responsibility role. And then you're the mother of 5 in the responsibility role. Like, when would you have time or the thought to take care of yourself And what you just explained is truly a queen's moment.
Yeah.
You decided, I am going to
Yeah.
know what happiness is.
Yeah.
It was a decision. And I know I love you talk about broken down, broken open, broken free.
Yeah.
That's really how the process goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I was thinking about it, 'cause that came to me, those words came to me as well in meditation. And it absolutely is. You're in this place of broken down, and you can't see any way out. You're consumed by everything that's happened to you. You're consumed by all these, for me personally, I was thinking about how much I'd messed my life up, and how my children would actually be better off without me, because I've messed their life up too. And I always make the wrong choice, and I always choose the wrong man, and I always do the wrong thing, and nothing I do works. And I was consumed by all of that. But one of the things I forgot to mention as well is that when I was in that moment of despair, because I was pregnant, it was like my unborn child, he started really kicking, which kind of jolted me out of this, the self-pity, the self-poor me, I'm my life is so useless, I'm so useless. Like it jolted me out of that. And when you're in that place of being broken down, I've got some notes here, and it's a place you kind of feel lost, you feel stuck. But I would say this is you could say it's the process of like the caterpillar. You have the caterpillar, and then you have the cocoon, and then you have the butterfly, which is, the stages that we move through. But this is the place of refocus. Like you said, I made a decision to find out what it meant to be happy, even though I didn't know. I didn't know that one day I would be happy, but I still chose that path. I chose to find out. I chose to walk that path. I chose to leave my marriage, even though it had just been 10 weeks. I had all this shame and guilt. How do I tell my family? They're gonna, everyone's gonna go mad. They all just spent all this money, and there's all of that. But I kind of felt like, oh well, I've made my bed, I have to lie in it. And then there was this other voice that was like, no, you can choose again. You can choose again. And I was just like, I'm going to choose again. I'm going to choose again. I had to keep, talking. People must have thought I would have, they could have thought I was crazy if they'd have seen me having these conversations with myself.
Oh, Elle, that is, you can choose again.
Yeah. As many times as you need to.
It's brilliant. That is like, again, because we all think, I made my bed, I need to lay in it. I made this choice, I have to, and we don't give ourselves the permission. I have never heard anyone say that. Like, you can choose again. It's like an ice cream shop, and you're sampling. Like, if you don't like that one, choose again. I mean,
choose again.
Choose again. And of course, we're talking about major, big things, not just go out and hurt someone and choose again. But to give yourself that thought, wow, I can choose again.
Yeah. And then what happened then is, like, now that I'm in this, I'm going to choose again energy. I was done. I cut my husband off. And then I was like, I'm not even happy in my job. I'm done with this too. And I just, within 6 weeks, I'd left my job. I didn't even know what I was going to do. I was just like, I'm done. Anything that doesn't light up my soul. And I'm choosing me for once. And I was just in this energy of, I don't know what's going to happen, but I actually like it, because I've lived this life of doing what everyone told me to do, doing what everyone expected me to do, and it's led me to misery. It's led me to being broken down. And now I'm just going to do what feels good to me, and I'm going to get rid of everything that doesn't feel good to me. So I did. I left him. I left my job. And then I was like, you know what? I want to travel. I want to travel. So I deregistered my kids from school. I put all 5 of my children on a plane, one way to Gran Canaria in Spain. And we just went out there and lived our best lives for around 8 months. Everyone was like, what are you doing? You're so irresponsible. And I was like, I don't care. I'm doing me. I spent 8 months sitting by the beach, just watching the sunrise, watching the sunset, my children playing. Like, it was the most amazing thing ever. And people will still, say that they think I'm a bit crazy for doing that, but it's the best thing I ever did.
Oh,
the best thing I ever did. Just doing
I don't think you're crazy. I think that those 8 months changed the whole trajectory of your life.
Absolutely. I did so much. forgiveness and letting go, you know, in that process that I was there. I had the time and the space to do that, you know. It was time that I gifted to myself.
And your children.
Yeah,
and I don't just mean the vacation part of the gift, but healing their mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was a gift to your children to change their life.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about this is because my children, I mean, I've got 22, 19, 16, and then I've got younger ones who are 8 and 4. Now, the beautiful thing that is, like, my older 3, they had a childhood similar to mine, brought up in, you know, very toxic household, witnessed a lot of domestic violence, whereas the younger 2, they don't know what domestic violence is. They don't know any of that. Like, that's proof that I have transformed my life. My younger children have absolutely no clue what life was like before. And it's such a beautiful thing, because now I have what I've never had in my life. I have a peaceful home. I have a happy home. You know, this is a place of safety, whereas before I never ever felt safe at home. I didn't feel safe in the home growing up, and I didn't feel safe in the home as I was an adult with my other children as well.
Wow. And you know, you said, I'm making this choice. I don't know what will happen, but I'm making this choice. But what you did know is what would happen if you stayed.
Absolutely, yeah.
Making
so I came
the
away
same
from the
choices
known.
You had been making. So I always say that, like, we know what's going to happen if you don't try.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. Man, that meditation gave you the totally correct name. You are.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, you are a women's empowerment speaker. You're a course creator, and you help women create easy, fun, self-priority routines that help increase their mental well-being so they can manifest the lifestyle of their dreams. I normally read that first, and for some reason I didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I didn't, because you just showed us and told us that you did this.
Yeah, absolutely.
You lived it. And I love that you say fun self-priority routines, and your laugh, which is contagious and beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And what you've done, you did have fun. You're like, I get to choose again. I'm going to Spain. So what do you advise women that are saying, not quite ready to get on the plane?
Yeah.
But I do need to change life. And the advice you give, because I think fun is important. It can get so heavy when we're in trauma and big. But what are some things you advise?
So the first thing I would say is, for being in, if you are really at rock bottom, I would say the first thing is always to just start soothing yourself, start speaking kindly to yourself, and trying to accept where you are, knowing that you get to choose again. But self-acceptance, self-forgiveness is everything, you know. And I like to just ask ask yourself, have I praised myself today? Have I comforted myself today? Like, really give yourself what you need instead of looking for it, you know, out there from somebody else. So I would say definitely start with just self-forgiveness, just speaking kindly to yourself. It's okay, you know. We all, you know, we all make mistakes. We all choose things, and sometimes things don't work out, but it's okay. I get to choose again. Just start off there. But I would say the main thing for me, I love to encourage women to really indulge all of their senses. So even just giving a small treat every single day, like, you know, surround yourself with things that you like to see, you like to hear, you like to smell, taste, touch. So, you know, beautiful fabrics, whether it's new bed sheets or, you know, lingerie or, you know, pajamas, whatever it is that feels good to you. You know, when it comes to senses of smell, in scented candles, incense, this might not be for everyone. I'm just saying what you like.
Your sense.
Some people like to be out in nature, and, you know, they like animals, all that kind of stuff. But if you can think about all your 5 senses and really just give yourself a small treat every single day, these tiny little changes make the biggest difference, I would say.
Yes, they do. And I keep thinking of, you can choose again. Yeah. Because so many times I love a saying that's like, what if I fall And then it's like, oh no, my darling, what if you fly?
Yeah.
But so many people, we get locked into the future of what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if this is forever? What if and you can, whoa, stop. You can choose again.
Absolutely. And, that's just the mind that's saying all those things. The mind is there to protect you. And the mind goes on past experiences. So it's always, what if this happens? What if that happens? Whereas your soul doesn't speak like that to you. Your soul is what will say, oh, but darling, what if you fly? Your soul is always going to say, you'll be okay. And even if you do fall, I've fallen many times. Here I am having this conversation with you. So,
a fellow faller.
No one ever died from falling.
No.
And I like to say, refocus, reinvent yourself, and rebirth yourself as many times as you want. Refocus, reinvent, rebirth as many times. I love to repeat that because, one of the things that I do a lot is repeat myself, because repetition is what deprograms, it's what deprograms the mind. So definitely. And one of the things that I've just started writing, one of my new speeches, it's called Relentless Reinvention. And it's basically, you're going to have all of these questions. What if it don't work? What if it don't work? Doesn't matter. Still going to do it. Still going to try. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to try. I'm still going to get there. I'm still going to keep going. And if I fall, I'm going to get back up. I'm going to keep going no matter what. And I'm going to love myself all the way through whilst I do it.
Wow. Isn't it interesting? You just said you like to repeat yourself.
Yeah.
But you chose a name for yourself that people have to repeat.
Yeah. Oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that interesting that because all your beliefs and everything you do and you repeat yourself, the name that you chose or that came to you, it bears repeating and needs to be repeated.
Yeah. I never thought of that. That's amazing.
Yeah. And you say refocus, reinvent, rebirth. And it sounds like, I'm going to do that. But people have to remember the birthing process is not fast and it's not easy.
No. And it's not just up all the way once you get there. Like there's going to be downs again. And it's going to be up and down and up and down. Like my 5-year journey, I'm here speaking like this to you. Last week, it was my, menstruation time. I wasn't this high as I am now, but I was still in that place of, it's okay. It's okay to have this. Like, what does my soul need? And I spent the whole week, I didn't really spend much time with people. I just come into myself. Like I give myself what I need in each moment. And that's okay. Sometimes you will be high vibe and want to, be talkative. Other times you'll want to just retreat, and that's okay. But just listen to your body and give yourself what you need throughout the entire process, and love yourself always, no matter what. Even if you think that you've made a mistake again, which you can't, because, there's no such thing as failures. It's just feedback. So even if you think you've made a mistake, it's just comforting yourself through all of it. And then, like I said, choosing again, choosing to keep going no matter what.
So no failures, it's just feedback. And with that feedback, you get to choose again.
Absolutely.
Wow. This is amazing. I'm just going to bring, I saw on your Facebook, you have a special list.
Oh yeah. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to swear, so I thought I better not say it.
But I think it's we've all heard of a bucket list, but you put a twist on it that I think, I agree. It's an
effort list, but it rhymes with bucket.
Yeah. But
it rhymes with bucket. Yeah, it begins with F.
First you just have to get fed up. And sick of the way that things are going. And when you're fed up, I say make a effort list.
And it puts a little bit of humor on it as well, and just lightens it a little bit, and then you can just say, sometimes I'll just find myself saying, no, F it. No, get my journal out, and that's going on the F it list. Like it's become my thing, and people will say it to me now, oh, is that going on your F it list? But it's a soul-led bucket list, and it's a soul-led F it list. And it's pretty much just, what goes on the soul-led bucket list is what nourishes your soul, what lights you up, what feels good, what will make you feel proud. How can you create a life that you feel proud of? Like, how can you make today matter? When you are 80 years old and you look back on your life and, you want to feel proud, you don't want to feel full of regrets and shoulda, woulda, couldas, and, you know, oh, I wish I'd have done this and I wish I'd have tried that. Like, how can you make your life matter now so that when you are an 80-year-old woman, you can be like, yeah, I did it, you know, and I stood up for myself and I chose me, and, you know, I stayed the course, even though it was difficult, I kept getting back up. Like, what can you do today that's going to make you feel proud later on? Yeah, and that's what goes on your bucket list. And then on the effort list, it's anything that contradicts that, anything that drains you, anything that makes you, you know, feel unworthy or feel like you need to compare yourself to anyone, just anything that doesn't feel good for you.
Yeah. And you'll know what should go on that list. Like, and for anyone listening, you can call it your screw it list, forget it list, whatever list you want, but it's the idea of letting go and releasing. And even with your house, I'm at that place in my house where I'm looking around and like, you just want to like purge where you're like, I want this gone and that gone and this. And I just want, and it's my soul saying you've outgrown these things, or this fear of I have to hang on to it because I might not get another one. But yeah, so whatever it is in your life, you can have a bucket list that nourishes you.
Yeah.
And an effort list where you give yourself the permission to be like, you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to analyze it. You just put it on the list and be like, it's not working.
And just let it go. Yeah. And it, you know, it's the same. It can be, like you said, with physical things, you know, decluttering, you know, all that kind of stuff. But also just, I would say anything that feels like, so say, for example, thoughts, limiting beliefs, they can go on the effort list as well. You know, expectations that people have of you, that you have been trying to live up to, but you just can't. And you just think, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. It's the same with me, like with my job. You know, I constantly went from job to job to job because I was so unhappy in these jobs. But then I just said, I'm done. Actually, I actually, if I'm truthful with myself, I know I'm unemployable. I have to work for myself. I have to do it my way. Like, it doesn't work for me to work for other people. So once I embraced that, here I am 5 years down the line, and it's the worst thing in the world to think to go back into a normal job for me. So just, you know, realizing what's not working for you, and you know, being okay with that, giving yourself permission to be you.
And, you know, the feeling for people listening and the topic of the show, you saying, I couldn't go back working for someone, and I can see it in your spirit that it'd be like putting this beautiful bird in a cage.
Yeah.
But you will, if you do the things we're saying, I promise people, you will feel like that about your relationship.
Absolutely.
You will be like, I can't go back to that kind of relationship. I can't.
Yeah, your taste will change.
Your taste,
your palate changes. Your palate becomes more, what's the word?
Well, your palate does change.
More sophisticated.
Yes.
You
get a more sophisticated palate, and what you think is killing you right now will start to look like a cage that you just are like, I can't go back in there.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Now, you are, I just have to say this for people listening, you weren't sure we were going to do the interview today, but you were like, let's do it. And look at you are just like on fire. Like, it just comes out of you so naturally. And two, you're like, it's 5 o'clock. My kids are downstairs. That just shows what an amazing mom and calm house you have. Because if anyone's listening right now, to know a mom can get even a little bit of peace at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
That is proof of everything you just said.
Oh, well, thank you. I can hear them in the background, but they've been warm. They've had their dinner. They've got snacks. Don't come to me. I'll come to you when I finish. So I can hear them, and I'll say, don't speak to each other because you'll just argue, and then someone will end up crying. Yeah.
But still, it's really shows that you're in a calm space and that your energy is affecting your entire house.
Oh, thank you. And I wish for every woman who watches this, who comes across this, to just have that hope that, you know, it's not just watching somebody and thinking, oh yeah, she's managed to create that. Like, to actually just take it for yourself and just put your hand on your heart and say, yeah, I can create that too. I get to have that. I'm capable of doing that too. because it's so easy to watch these things, isn't it, and think, oh yeah, well, she's done that or she's done that, but you've got to then flip that and say, yeah, this is evidence. I'm actually here for a reason watching this. This is evidence that I get to do that too.
Yes. And I want to thank you for being a queen, because you are such an inspiration. It was an absolute gift to have you here today, Elle. And
thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to share this with people. And just quickly before we go, please tell them, we will have all your information, linked and listed, but in your own words, where they could find you, what you have coming up. Just give yourself a little shout out. And so
okay, well, thank you so much for having me. I would just like to say, yeah, you are so beautiful as well. You are really beautiful.
No, thank you.
And I'm so honored to be here. But I'm hanging around a lot more on Instagram now. My Instagram is Elle Melissa, and I do usually post on Facebook too. I'm actually creating my own app at the moment, so if you do follow me on any of the social media, you will be able to join a wait list that I have, so that you'll get all the updates for when my app launches. That's where I'm going to have all my free content, and I'm also doing a lot more on YouTube as well. So yeah, but yeah, so I'm having this big rebirth and rebrand, and everything's going to be new to match this new 40-year-old me. So
hey, I'm right there matching the 50-year-old me.
Yeah, wow, you look amazing.
No, thank you. And so when you said you had a 20-year-old, I was like doing the math in my head, like, wait a minute. But the truth, I have to tell you, from one person a decade older, your 40s to 50s, man, when you hit 50, when you add, you are going to be a queen that shines, and you are going to bring so many people on your path in these 40s.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
They're going to be brilliant, because on top of everything you did, you come into a natural energy and power of just womanhood itself.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I can't wait to see your app. What will your app be called?
It's called You, because it's all about you. And that's what I just.
YOU or just you?
Yeah.
Just you.
Just you. Yeah.
I love it. And do you have 20 seconds for a story on you?
Sorry, what was that?
You have 20 more seconds for a fast story on you.
Okay, so You is it's all about you, and I want to help women realize that this journey always was about you and will always be about you. So this is not about, I like to talk about finding yourself, but really it's about uncovering the true you, getting rid of all the layers of conditioning that's giving you this false sense of identity, so that you can really figure out who you truly are. Yeah, you truly are. Yeah.
Quickly tell you, I fell asleep last night. I was thinking of lessons, and I was thinking of a friend of mine who was very high up, and she's been a great teacher, and she's a mentor and on stage. And I had the privilege to get to know her, and she told me, Lisa, life is a you.
Oh, really?
And she said, and I fell asleep thinking of the story. She said, life is full of ups and downs, but she said, it's a you. When we're at the top of the you, we teach. When we go down in it, we learn.
Oh, wow.
And we come back up and we teach. So life is on top of being about you. I've taken that lesson so strongly that, like, yes, I met her as a teacher, but man, when I heard about her yous, it was like, wow, she didn't become the teacher at the top of the U without learning that bottom U.
Yeah, I absolutely love that.
I do too. I mean, I really do. When I'm like, it's just a you. Every teacher you see or meet, they're teaching because they're at the top of the U.
Yeah, absolutely. And they say, like, one of the things that I love about teaching is that I get to integrate the lessons more deeply for myself. And I can't remember who said it, but they said, if you want to learn something, read about it. But if you want to master it, then teach it. And this is something that's been so true for me. The more that I teach something, the more that I integrate it and implement it in my own life, and the more that I benefit from it personally. And then I can help more people integrate it, as they implement it, and they benefit from it more as well. So, well, yeah, I love to teach the things that I learn.
A queen leads. You are a leader. I believe in sharing my knowledge. Sharing is contagious.
Yeah.
And you are going to be, I just can't wait to watch you. You are
Oh, thank you.
absolutely, absolutely beautiful. And your energy is radiant. And I will list everything, but I would encourage everyone, check out this app because you are worth it.
Oh, thank you. And I'll be following you as well. I'll be following your journey as well. I would love to keep in touch with you. I
would too as well. Elle, it was amazing to talk to you. And now you get to go walk in that room as we all do and like, okay, Mama's back.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. And I hope to speak to you again soon.
Okay. Thanks, Elle. Bye.
Bye.